Hi guys, it's me again. You'll have to forgive me if you're seeing me wear the same clothes as my last video, but I'm trying to do 2 in 1 before I leave and get this done because this is well overdue. As you'll see from the title, I wanted to do a review of my amazing time at the St Michael's Resort in Falmouth, Cornwall. It was so wonderful that I wanted to do a video review, particularly if you're out there yourself and wanting to know what it's like, because, you know, obviously I looked at pictures, you know, I looked online and it sounded great, but, you know, you never know until you actually get there. So I've done a few notes as always, so I can just share that with you, and just firstly start off by saying I highly recommend it. Cornwall is beautiful. It was actually the first holiday location destination of my parents, so I'd always heard about Cornwall, always wanted to go there, and finally got to go many years later. And I took the train down there, first thing journey, took the train down there. I think my ticket was about £63. I do get a discount, but yeah, it was around about that price, which was quite reasonable. It's a 5-hour journey. Obviously in COVID-19 we had to wear our masks, which was a bit much, but you could take it off to eat. But the welcome, the staff were amazing. I'm going to say that the staff from start to end, they were exceptionally friendly, exceptionally welcoming, and I couldn't really fault them, to be honest with you. I had my room. This is a bit of a hack tip for you here. I had it was a single room, and it was, I think it was number 70. I might be mistaken, but basically when you go upstairs to the first floor, it's the first door on the left as you come up the stairs. So it was a single room and it was quite compact, but it was, you know, very pleasant. Obviously you got your own bathroom. Because of COVID-19, they were offering free breakfast in bed. That was incredible. That was like amazing. I only did it once because I like to get out and socialise and just see other things, but it was so nice. That was a really, really unexpected treat. But it was quite a small room to kind of get the huge tray they give you with your big breakfast and fruit, and it's a really lovely breakfast. I'll tell you about that in a minute because the food was insanely good as well. My only thing I'd say about the room, and it's not necessarily a deal breaker for me, but it might be for somebody else. Okay, the hack is that there apparently were 2 single rooms available, and the lady I spoke to the second time I called up to book kindly put me into the room where I was. I think it's number 70, because she said the bed was slightly bigger. It was like a 1.5 size, not double bed, but 1.5, which is probably why my room was so compact. I really like that, and I appreciated that she did that for me, because I think if it was a smaller bed, maybe I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. The other thing that I'd say is that I think my room was above the staff toilets or kitchen or something like that, because the hand dryer went quite often and up to quite late. I mean 10 p.m, maybe 9, between 9 and 10, which for me, that wasn't a major issue, but you could hear it all day long and up until about 10 p.m. So just be aware of that. If that would drive you crazy, then, and you know, if you're in bed by 9, you don't want to be dealing with that. So that's my little tip for you. Safe, but that was incredible. So that was in the spa. It was about £80, I think it was, for a 1-hour massage, and it was really, really worth it. So Falmouth Town is really pretty. And I literally just spent the day. You can walk from the hotel to Falmouth Town in about 10 minutes. It goes past Falmouth Town station, then you go down into the town. There's, I think, a Rick Stein restaurant and a Tesco's as you come on the right hand side. So if you want to get like a sandwich meal deal or any little bits, I had to go and pick up a few bits that I'd forgotten, and I was able to get that in Tesco. So that's 10 minutes walk from St. Michael's. And just the town was really just lovely. Just walked through the town, and I did a little bit of shopping, more than I anticipated. I just didn't expect to find that much there. But the first place I'm going to plug, I've actually got a review video that I'm going to post as well, but it's called Heavenly Feet, and it is so appropriately named. The shoes, I could have spent about £1,000 easily in that shop. And the thing is, they were so reasonably priced. Yes, then I had a amazing lunch at a restaurant. I think it was called The Grapes. I will post it again. I'll put a little picture in somewhere. Really lovely. That's when I felt like I was in the south of France. I sat outside, really pretty little pub, and had mussels. So Cornish mussels with white wine sauce, and they recommended this. I think it was like a Pinot Grigio to go with it, and with bread to dip. Incredible. That was just, I literally felt like I was in the south of France. So really recommend them as well. They were really good. And yeah, other shopping, they had like some, you know, Cornish fudge that was available, which was quite nice. I bought some Baileys and another flavour that I can't remember. That was quite nice. I really regret not buying Cornish gin. It was a rhubarb and something flavour, and I actually regret not buying that, but I forgot to go back there. So there's lots of little things local to the area that you can pick up and buy. One thing I did do, which it wasn't Cornish, but I've got this little habit of picking up a ceramic, some kind of ceramic when I'm traveling. I don't go for the expensive ones, but just, you know, something locally produced, hopefully, or made. This one wasn't. However, it was from Portugal, and I love Portugal, and therefore just decided to buy it. It was really pretty. Maybe I'll put a picture in it. But that was, so if you follow the town all the way down, and you know, just keep going, you pass, I think it was like Wilko's or the pound shop at the other end of the high street. So the first end is quite independent shops and really kind of lovely stuff to buy there, and at the end of the high street it gets a bit more, you know, your everyday kind of shops like Wilko's, pound shops, and I think there was a New Look and a few other things. So if you come to the end, there's a little charity shop which I got a lovely scarf at, actually, forgot about that. And then if you go up that hill, there's a few more independent shops up there, and there are about 2 or 3 ceramic shops, I believe it was, that I saw up there, and that's where I bought my bowl. If you also go up there and go a little bit further, there's a beautiful like viewing spot, so you can take some pictures of the harbour, or whatever you call it, port. Really pretty, and it's worth going up there just for that. So after that, I went to the beach again that evening. Actually, the beach was really nice. I didn't go in the water as such, put my feet in. There were lots of people in the water up until late at night. It was too cold for me personally, but the beach is just really, having the beach that close is just so lovely. I went there first thing in the morning just to have a little bit of quiet time, which is lovely. And one thing I want to mention is the beach walks, so the coastal walks. I almost missed out on those because I couldn't find it on my first and second day, and then I stumbled across it on the last morning, had my breakfast, went down there, and there's a garden, really pretty garden with palm trees and beautiful flowers. If you go to the right, so as you come, you know, down to the beach, you've got, I think it's Gills, because it's called Gills Beach, something like that. I'll put the name in. They've got like a little cafe there. I'll talk to you about them in a minute. They had a cafe, and then there's gardens to the right. If you kind of walk through the gardens, or to the right of the gardens, and then you'll see there's a path that goes up. Equally, I think you can get there from the beach as well. But that was really, really stunning. I did that on my last morning, as I said, and just, it was so relaxing and peaceful. Loads of friendly people up there walking their dogs and, you know, saying good morning and stuff. So that was probably another real pleasant treat, I would say, just to be able to walk and take beautiful pictures. Again, I'll try and put pictures in so you can see as well. And then I said I was going to mention something about is it Glicks? I don't know. I'll put it in there anyway. There was a little cafe there. So on my first day, I went there, and I just had some sardines, which were lovely. Again, the picture will come up soon, but they were really, I mean, I felt like I was in Portugal. Lovely Cornish fresh sardines grilled, and they have a barbecue and loads of stuff that's there. I liked them, but I felt personally, I just maybe had a bit of a bad experience with service there that made me feel less inclined to give them a sparkling review, sadly. Because it was very popular. They had the help out to eat out down there as well. And on the Wednesday night, I went to another restaurant, which I'll tell you about in a minute. And on my way back, I just thought, it was like a massive queue. So they're obviously very popular, and they've got they're on the beach. So, you know, you can't really beat that view. However, I wasn't overly impressed with their service. As I waited outside, you know, this family just pushed straight past me and were going to walk in, and the woman saw them do it and was going to let them in until I said, I'm sorry, but I'm actually here in the queue. So that kind of made me feel a bit like, I wouldn't give you a fight. And then when I was in there, they were okay. They weren't overly friendly. Yeah, so I don't know, but they're there. They have lovely sardines and some kind of barbecue thing going on. So I wouldn't say don't go there, but maybe just be aware that they weren't, in my opinion, that friendly in comparison to St. Michael's and all the other places that I went to. I wouldn't even compare the service. So on that note, I want to talk to you about food, and then I've got to remember to talk to you about my final day. Food, like, I am a foodie. The food was amazing. I'm very fussy. But I would honestly say, apart from one restaurant which made up for it with the view, the food was phenomenal. I loved it. From the St. Michael's, you know, their breakfast was great, and I had one night in their restaurant, and oh my goodness, if they're still doing menus on certain nights, go for Wednesday night's menu. Wow. I had Cornish crab cakes for starters. Again, I'll probably put a picture in there. I had a duck leg with the orange oil and vegetables and other delicious yumminess for my main, and dessert was mind-blowing. It was a bruleed vanilla cheesecake with a scoop of almond and cherry ice cream. And I remember I paused when I took my first mouthful. I paused and went, oh my gosh, because it was incredible. Like, I don't know if there's such thing as a foodgasm, but if there is, I had one because it was that good. It was incredible. So the top was, you know, like a creme brulee. You had to crack it to get inside the delicious cheesecake. I think it was a shortbread base. And then that ice cream, oh, just try it. So that food was amazing. The sardines, as I said, were really great. Even if the service wasn't, the sardines were great. The mussels that I had were amazing. And then the last restaurant that I went to, that was my final night on the Wednesday, beautiful view. It was the Royal Duchy. I wasn't overly impressed with the food, I've got to be honest with you. The dessert was okay. Again, I'm going to put pictures in, but the view, I sat on the terrace and they were like, do you really want to sit on the terrace? Because it wasn't boiling hot or anything, and it was actually quite overcast, but the view was like you were, you know, again, in like, I don't know, Marbella or even Miami. It just, because there's a few palm trees, and it was really, really beautiful. So having that, you know, a dinner with a glass of wine out there was amazing. So I would recommend them for that, and maybe try something different. I had the crab soup bisque, I think it was called. I had to add quite a bit of salt and pepper to that to make it taste reasonable. I had prawn and Cornish crab linguine with pesto dressing. Once I added some salt, that was quite nice, and there was a lot of crab, so I will say that much. And then dessert was some kind of cheesecakey jelly. I can't remember the whole thing. It wasn't anything discreet, because I'd had the one the night before, the brulee cheese. I mean, there was no comparison. However, as I said, recommend the restaurant as a, you know, and the service was amazing. They had fantastic service. Yeah, so that was that. And then finally, this is my little hack for if you need to go to St. Michael's and they're still not allowing you to leave your bags. My train, I think, left at 6 p.m. that night. So I had a whole day, but because of COVID-19, they weren't allowing you to leave your bags. So this is my little trick, my little hack that I worked out, that worked out really well for me. I went into, if you're a guest, you can pay £20 or £25 to use their hydrotherapy pools, hot tub, and if it's working now, sauna and steam room. It wasn't because of COVID, but didn't need that anyway. But I will say firstly that the hydrotherapy pools were amazing. I felt like I had a second massage, because they've got different stations where different jets of water are working different parts of your body. Oh, it was incredible. They've got loungers that you can lie on and just relax, which was amazing as well. It's like it felt very tropical inside, you know, very heated kind of spa area. And then you've got the hot tub. You do at the moment have to work through, oh, they had heated sunbeds as well that you can lie on, but they kind of encourage you at the moment with COVID to make your way through like a one-way system. Understandable. And if you do need to go back out, which I did need to, they let you have to just go all the way around the system and come back in again. But that didn't, you know, make anything negative for me. I loved it anyway. And so then I went out into the hot tub, and the hot tub is beautiful because it overlooks the sea. And yeah, I mean, I just was just bliss, complete bliss. And obviously the hot tub really relaxes you. So from that, then got changed and stuff. And I just want to say that I love the changing rooms in the spa. I've never been to a luxury spa. I've been to a spa, but not a luxury spa. I loved it. You know, you had your dressing gown and your slippers and Elemis products in the bedrooms and in the spa. And yeah, I was in there by myself because there wasn't many people in there. They give you staggered hours as well. Did that, which meant that they could keep my suitcase in their quite big lockers. So there's a tip for you. If you are going to stay, maybe do that on the last day so that you can put your bags in their lockers. And then from there, I went up to the restaurant and had afternoon tea, which was very reasonable. I'm sure it was, I feel like it was less than 20, it was maybe £18, something like that. It was reasonable, maybe 16.50, something like that. But that was, you know, it was quite standard, if I'm honest, but it was still lovely. Clotted cream. I mean, once I've got my scone with jam and clotted cream, I don't really care about anything else. I didn't eat all of the little sweet desserts because it was just a bit too much. But the clotted cream and, you know, the scones was amazing. The sandwiches were nice. The tea was great. The staff were really friendly. And I sat there for 2 hours because that was booked from 2 o'clock, I believe it was. And then waited in the reception until a taxi came to take me to the station. So my little tip for you is that is a really good way to spend your last day. If you're planning to do all those things anyway, then you don't have to worry about lugging your bags around, because in the restaurant they just kept the bag to the side and all the rest of it. So yeah, that's it really. I really highly recommend it. Check them out on Instagram, check them out on, I believe, YouTube as well. But I wanted to give my own little review about my experience in Falmouth. So yeah, so that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you do. And if you've been there, feel free to comment below. If you plan to go there, comment below. If you are having more questions about it, then please do ask. And I'll catch you next time. Take care. Bye.